SpaceX has once again shocked NASA by doing something that no rocket company has achieved before. While NASA calls the Kennedy Space Center in Florida its home, SpaceX has left everyone in the dust after achieving several historic milestones at the facility. But how has a private company made such strides while a government-funded giant like NASA has faltered? Let's take a closer look. SpaceX has taken the space sector by storm, with its astonishing activities unfolding at Starbase. They have been rapidly constructing, testing, repairing, enhancing, and expanding various facets of their operations. While everyone is eagerly anticipating the launch of Starship 25 and Booster 9, as well as awaiting the response from the Federal Aviation Administration, there's another remarkable development taking place right in the vicinity of NASA. Starbase, situated in South Texas, stands as the world's pioneering spaceport. It serves as SpaceX's central hub for advancing the next-generation Starship rocket, featuring state-of-the-art facilities and launch platforms. Within the space community, it's known as the Portal to Mars, as it's set to accommodate numerous Starship flights each month. The sheer scale of Starbase's infrastructure is unparalleled, surpassing the capabilities of any other rocket company, including NASA. In April, Starbase had the privilege of witnessing the launch of the world's largest and most formidable rocket. Furthermore, the site is presently gearing up for the second Starship launch, which is slated for October. Mass production of prototypes and ongoing testing are happening consistently in anticipation of this impending launch. Elon Musk's ambitions for Starship stretch far beyond the confines of Starbase. He envisions transforming Starship into a widespread mode of transportation throughout the solar system. Elon's goal is to establish a launch network that is even more extensive than one might initially conceive. His initial focus for this endeavor is to establish a launch facility in Florida. In late 2021, SpaceX initiated the construction of the second version of Starship's inaugural launch pad in Florida. This launch facility, referred to as Orbital Launch Site 2, is located adjacent to Kennedy Space Center's LC-39A pad, which SpaceX leases from NASA. The rationale behind this co-location stems from NASA's concerns about potential setbacks in case of a Starship failure. Such setbacks could significantly impede SpaceX's commitments related to its Crew Dragon and Falcon Heavy contracts with NASA. Consequently, SpaceX gave lower priority to advancing the development of Starship's Florida launchpad, leading to a slowdown in progress. Despite challenges, SpaceX has reached significant milestones at this site over 13 months. They have laid foundations, modified one of Pad 39A's large spherical tanks for cryogenic methane storage, established complex plumbing systems, built a second tall Starship launch tower, set up the legs of the Orbital Launch Mount, or OLM, and implemented a water deluge system at the base of the OLM. Additionally, SpaceX has partially assembled the donut-like mount of the OLM off-site, built a new, larger storage tank, and delivered multiple smaller storage tanks. Furthermore, SpaceX accomplished another notable milestone by finishing the fabrication of two massive steel arms. These gigantic arms were transported to Pad 39A, attached to a wheeled vehicle, and then installed on the Starship launch tower in Florida. Playfully named Chopsticks by SpaceX staff, these arms are a vital part of what CEO Elon Musk has termed Mechazilla. The term Mechazilla encompasses both the launch tower and its accompanying arms. SpaceX's vision for Mechazilla aims to create a cohesive system capable of capturing, handling, stacking, and fueling both the Starship spacecraft and its Super Heavy booster. Once fully operational, the tower's arms will have the ability to perform these maneuvers even in moderately windy conditions. Constructing the Starship launch tower is undeniably an engineering marvel of colossal proportions. Many engineers view this ground structure as more challenging than producing the Starship spacecraft itself. Nevertheless, SpaceX's dedication to this project is evident not just in the Texas launch tower, but also in the construction of an additional launch tower in Florida during the initial phases of rocket development. Additionally, SpaceX in Florida has achieved a series of remarkable records, drawing attention from various rocket companies and space organizations, including NASA. The Falcon 9 rocket, in particular, has proven itself as a reliable workhorse in the Florida space arena. To date, Falcon 9 has completed an impressive total of 66 launches. The 60th launch marked a significant milestone, breaking the record for the most Falcon flights in a single year, achieved at the end of 2022. This accomplishment unfolded right at the launch site in Florida, averaging a launch approximately every 3.9 days, a substantial improvement compared to the 2022 average of one launch every 5.9 days. To illustrate the rapid progress, by February 12th of 2023, SpaceX had already achieved its 10th launch. By late March, they reached their 20th launch. Progressing swiftly, they accomplished their 30th launch in the second week of May, their 40th in mid-June, and their 50th and 60th launches in July and August, respectively. This pace contrasted sharply with the previous year, where it took until mid-May to achieve 20 flights, mid-July to hit 30, and early September to reach 40. Surpassing 50 launches in 2022 happened at the beginning of November. Given the rapid pace of these accomplishments and the 2022 total of 61 launches, it's entirely reasonable to expect more than 90 missions before 2023 comes to a close. This year, SpaceX has concentrated heavily on deploying Starlink internet satellites into orbit, with nearly 60% of their missions devoted to this purpose. Alongside these satellite launches, SpaceX has executed 3 crewed missions to the International Space Station, or ISS, and 3 Falcon Heavy rocket launches. The primary catalyst behind SpaceX's increased launch frequency is its extraordinary ability to reuse rocket boosters and first-stage components. In July, SpaceX reached a significant milestone by launching its Falcon 9 booster for the 16th time. Engineers extended the first stage's lifespan from 15 flights to an impressive 20 missions. Moreover, SpaceX's launch teams have been diligently working to streamline their launch sites for quicker turnaround times. At SpaceX's busiest launch site in Florida, the time between missions has been reduced to less than 4 days this year. This reduction in turnaround time is crucial, especially considering SpaceX's other launch facility in Florida has been primarily devoted to Falcon Heavy missions and crewed launches, both of which typically require more preparation time for each flight. In California, SpaceX's West Coast launch site has hosted a total of 18 Falcon 9 missions. However, the Falcon 9 launch site in California has an older design that requires more time to set up for each mission. This is primarily due to its robust back structure, which resembles a vertical gantry structure that remains alongside the rocket during the final countdown. Unlike their counterparts in Florida, the sturdy back structures in California do not retract from the rocket during liftoff. This design distinction means that the solid back structure has to endure the intense heat and force of the fiery exhaust plume as the Falcon 9 ascends into the sky. Consequently, this exposure to extreme conditions leads to a higher demand for refurbishment between launches compared to the more retractable and protected design seen in Florida. Despite the challenges posed by the distinctive design of SpaceX's launch facilities in California, the ground team there has showcased remarkable efficiency. They've successfully executed Falcon 9 missions with turnaround times as short as 10 days. Out of the 44 other SpaceX launches conducted this year, all have occurred in Florida. The spaceport in Florida has already facilitated a total of 46 orbital launches this year, involving not only SpaceX, but also ULA and Relativity Space. This number has already surpassed the 57 launches hosted by the spaceport in the previous year. Officials from the U.S. Space Force's Space Launch Delta East, the agency overseeing launch operations from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station and Kennedy Space Center, have effectively coordinated their efforts to meet the growing demand for launches, much of which is driven by SpaceX. Entering the final quarter of the year, SpaceX has a busy schedule of pre-scheduled launches, including their Starlink satellite launches. They are aiming to achieve a significant milestone of 100 launches in 2023. Several exciting launches are scheduled for the remainder of the year in SpaceX's lineup. Firstly, on October 5th, there's a Falcon Heavy rocket launch planned involving the launch of NASA's Psyche asteroid probe, which will take off from Florida. Later in the year, another Falcon Heavy launch is on the calendar for a mission in collaboration with the U.S. Space Force, set for November. While SpaceX has a busy few months ahead, it will be interesting to see how the company will manage to maintain an impressive launch cadence in addition to the groundbreaking upgrades that are happening at Starbase and Florida. What do you think? Can SpaceX continue this impressive trajectory? Please let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, you may also enjoy this one, which talks about what the FAA just declared about the Starship's second launch.